Let's just take a breath together. Let's slow everything down for a few minutes. Because today, we're not going to talk about getting rich quick or the next hot stock. We're going to talk about something much, much more valuable than money. Something more precious than any asset you could ever possibly own. We're going to talk about your life. We're going to talk about your time and the quiet, almost revolutionary act of buying it back. I want you to sit with this question for a moment. I mean, really sit with it. Try to push aside all the noise, all the things that society screams are important. You know, the size of your house, the logo on your car, the brand of watch on your wrist. Just let all of that fade away. And now, I want you to look at your calendar. Go on, picture it in your mind's eye. See all those colored blocks, all those meetings and appointments and obligations. Each one is a promise, a piece of your life that you've given to someone else. Now think about the hours in your day, just ticking by, one after another, disappearing forever into the past. Who truly owns those hours? When you peel back every single layer of expectation and responsibility and what you think you're supposed to be doing, who is left in charge? Is it you? Think about tomorrow morning. When your eyes open, what's the very first thought that pops into your head? Is it a thought about what you want to do, or is it a jolt of anxiety about what you have to do? Is there any space left in your morning for just spontaneous desire, for curiosity, or is every single minute already claimed, already spoken for? Are you waking up to serve your own rhythms, your own soul, or are you waking up to the sound of an alarm clock, that little tyrant on your nightstand signaling the start of another day that was designed by other people for other people's goals? Let's imagine something. It's a random Tuesday afternoon, maybe 2 o'clock. The sun is out. It's just a perfect, completely unremarkable day. My question is, could you just stop? Could you, right then and there, walk away from your desk, leave your phone behind, take your shoes off, and go find a little patch of grass and just be, with no agenda, no goal, nothing to optimize? For most of us, that idea sounds like a complete fantasy, doesn't it? It's almost absurd. Why? Because the calendar is locked, the meeting are already booked. The great big machine that we're all helping to power, it demands our constant attention. It's this relentless grinding force that doesn't care one bit if the sun is shining. And it will not stop unless, of course, we break first. You know this feeling, this sense of being constantly on the clock, constantly behind. It isn't an accident. It's a cage. And here's the most unsettling part of all. It is very often a cage of our very own making. It's a beautiful cage, mind you, a comfortable cage, gilded with all of our success and our achievements. But it is a cage nonetheless, and we are the ones who build it. We build it ourselves, one golden bar at a time. With every promotion we chase, every loan we sign, every little lifestyle upgrade that quietly, sneakily demands another piece of our soul in return. I want you to picture a version of yourself, say 5 or 10 years into the future. This future you is wealthier, at least on paper. They've got the bigger house for sure, they got the promotion, they're driving a much nicer car. They have all the things you're working so hard for right now. But here is the truly unsettling question, the one we almost never dare to ask ourselves. Is that future person, are they actually freer than you are right at this very moment? Or have they simply traded their autonomy for a much more luxurious prison? Have they just built thicker, more beautiful, more expensive walls around their life until they can no longer even see the sky? Well, this brings us to a character that I think we all recognize. Maybe we even see a little of ourselves in this person. Let's call them the high-income slave. They have all the external markers of success, right? The 6-figure salary, the corner office with the nice view, the impressive job title. But if you look beneath all that gloss, their calendar is a fortress, and it's controlled by other people. They can't just quit that stressful job because their entire lifestyle, the mortgage, the car lease, the kids' private school tuition, it all depends on that next paycheck. Now, let's contrast that with a truly wealthy person. You might not even notice them at a party. Their wealth isn't flashy. It's not on their wrist or parked in their driveway. Their ultimate prize is completely invisible to the outside world. And what is it? They control their own mornings. They can't be fired because they have meticulously, patiently built a life where they don't need anyone's permission to live. And right here, this is the central, crazy paradox of so much of our modern lives. We spend decades of our lives trading our most finite, our most precious, non-renewable resource, our time, for money. And then what do we do with that money? We immediately use it to buy things that broadcast to the entire world just how unfree we have become. Think about it. That fancy car isn't really a symbol of freedom. It's usually a symbol of the high-paying, high-demand job that you are chained to in order to afford it. We are quite literally setting our own freedom on fire to purchase the very symbols of our captivity. Okay, that all sounds a little bleak, I know. But here's the good news. There is another way to live. And this brings us to the core idea from Morgan Housel's incredible work, The Psychology of Money. See, he doesn't just focus on spreadsheets and market returns. He talks about the one thing that we are all, deep down, completely starving for. And it's not what we think it is. He calls it wealth's highest dividend. Let's just let that sink in for a minute. I'm going to read it again, slowly. The ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want. This, Housel argues, is the whole point. This is the ultimate goal. Not a first-class plane ticket, not a bigger house, not a faster car. This feeling, this is the infinite return. A return that you can't measure in dollars and cents, only in the peaceful, unhurried heartbeats of a life well lived. So what this all boils down to is this. We have to completely redefine what wealth means to us. It's not a number in your bank account. It's not a net worth statement. True wealth is autonomy. It is the profound, deeply life-altering ability to wake up one morning, stretch, and have the genuine power to say to yourself, today, I can do whatever I want. And if you felt a little pang of longing in your chest when you heard that, that's your soul. That's your soul reminding you what it actually craves. It doesn't crave more stuff, it craves more self. Okay, so you're probably thinking, this all sounds wonderful, but how on earth do I get there? How do I actually build this kind of wealth, this autonomy? Well, it all starts by learning to cultivate the single most powerful two-letter word in finance, and maybe in all of life. It starts with the power of no. The real source of your power in this world doesn't come from a flashy purchase. It comes from the quiet, unshakable confidence of your savings. It's in the bank account that stands as a buffer between you and the unreasonable, sometimes soul-crushing demands of the world. You see, this is a fund that doesn't just buy you things, it buys you options. It buys you the option to refuse, to decline, to walk away from any situation that compromises your well-being, or your dignity, or your core values. In the end, it buys you integrity. Let me just paint a quick picture for you. Imagine it's 4:30 on a Friday afternoon. Your boss comes to your desk and asks you to work all weekend on some project that isn't even urgent. Now, in scenario 1, you are living paycheck to paycheck. You desperately need that money to make rent next week. So you swallow that frustration, you force a smile, and you hear yourself say, "Of course, no problem." And you spend your entire weekend feeling resentful, exhausted, a servant to your circumstances. Now, let's imagine scenario 2. In this world, you have 6 months of living expenses saved up. You don't need this paycheck to survive. And so you can look your boss calmly in the eye and respectfully but firmly say, "No, I won't be able to do that." The feeling in that exact moment, that incredible surge of self-respect, that is wealth. But let's be very clear. That no, it doesn't come for free. In fact, you could argue it's the most expensive and most valuable thing you will ever buy. It's a purchase made with discipline. It's paid for day by day by saying no to the $5 coffee, by saying no to the impulsive online shopping, by saying no to the expensive restaurant meal you could have just cooked at home. You're consciously sacrificing 1,000 tiny fleeting luxuries today in order to buy the one enormous, soul-affirming luxury of control tomorrow. And this really leads us to a fundamental, radical shift in perspective. From the day we're born, we're trained to pursue a visible kind of wealth, the kind you can show off, the kind that makes other people envious. But the truest, strongest, most protective form of wealth is the kind that no one can see at all. It's like an invisible suit of armor that you build around your life, piece by patient piece. This right here, this is the purest form of wealth. It's the kind of stuff that will never show up on a balance sheet. It's that quiet control you have over your mornings, free from the tyranny of the alarm clock. It's the deep, abiding peace of mind that comes from knowing that a sudden job loss or an unexpected medical bill won't completely destroy you. It's the unhurried, priceless ability to spend real quality time with your family, with your aging parents or your growing children. It's having that financial cushion that just absorbs life's inevitable and often painful curveballs. It is the liberating, exhilarating option to quit a job that is absolutely crushing your spirit. And sometimes it's even the simple, profound ability to just take a nap in the middle of the afternoon just because you're tired. Can you imagine? Let's try and make this really tangible. Think about that daily coffee again. It's $5. It's nothing, right?
we tell ourselves it's no big deal. But when you look at it through this new lens, it's not just $5. It's a small brick that you just pulled out from the foundation of your freedom fund. It's one tiny piece of your future no that you just traded for a fleeting caffeine hit. Every single one of these small, non-essential purchases is a trade. It's a trade of your future autonomy for a little bit of present comfort.
This is really Morgan Housel's core insight, and it's so important to grasp this. We have been conditioned to confuse wealth with what we see other people spending, the fast car, the giant house, the designer clothes. But true wealth is the absolute opposite of that. True wealth is the car that you didn't purchase. It's the expensive watch you didn't wear. It's all the assets that are quietly, invisibly compounding in the background. Wealth is the financial restraint that you exercise today that grants you your freedom tomorrow. So, if we accept all this, if this resonates deep inside you, the question becomes, how do we actually begin to live this way? Well, it's time to stop being a servant to our own finances and our own schedules. It is time to rewrite the entire contract of your own life. And this time, you're going to write it with you as the master, not the slave. It's time to take back the pen and become the true author of your own days. And here are the steps to do that. First, you have to ask yourself the most terrifying and also the most liberating question there is. How much is actually enough? Not enough for a yacht or a mansion. Enough for control. You have to define that number for yourself. Second, you build your fund. You can call it a freedom fund, an emergency fund, or as some people bluntly call it, an FU fund, because that's what it is. It's the money that buys you back your dignity and the power to walk away. Third, you must begin to consciously choose optionality over status every single time you make a decision. Remember, the ability to change your mind is always more powerful than the ability to impress a stranger. And finally, number 4, you redesign your entire life. You start to make choices based on the currency that truly matters. Not how much money something makes you, but how much time it gives you back. This quote right here really just perfectly summarizes this entire philosophy. The goal of all of this isn't just mindless accumulation for its own sake. The goal is to reduce your needs, to simplify, to get to a point where you are no longer a slave to them. Real freedom is found not in having more, but in needing less. That is where true richness lies. That is the infinite return. So, I want to leave you with a little challenge. Not just a big idea to ponder, but an actual practice. A way to bring this whole conversation from theory into your real life, starting right now. For just the next 30 days, before you make any non-essential purchase, anything from a coffee to a new pair of shoes to a tech gadget, I want you to pause, just for one single beat, and ask yourself one very simple but very powerful question. Is this purchase a step toward my own autonomy, or is it just another golden bar on the cage I'm building around myself? Is it buying me more control over my future calendar, or is it stealing that precious future freedom for just a moment of gratification right now? If you ask this question consistently, you will begin to rewrite your contract. You will begin to build a life that doesn't just look good on the outside, but one that feels good on the inside. A life that feels good on a random Tuesday afternoon when the sun is out and you have absolutely nowhere else you need to be.